This is Lon Winters with Graphic Elephants.
This is Jimmy Lamp.
This is Matt Vassallo with the RhinestoneWorld.com.
And you're listening to the Two Regular Guys podcast.
And you are listening to the Two Regular Guys podcast.
Hosted by...
My name is Terry Combs, RG, regular guy.
And Aaron Montgomery.
We're just regular guys having fun and trying to make a living in this really cool and exciting industry.
I think we all want to succeed 100% of the time.
Seek to understand before I try and make myself understood.
Bring a ton of great information.
Coming to you live from somewhere dark, dirty, and dank.
All right. Well, welcome into the show. It is Friday, December 2nd, 2022. I'm Terry Combs, and you can find me at terrycombs.com.
And I'm Aaron Montgomery, and you can find me over at oursuccessgroup.com. Did you say December, Terry? What are you doing to me?
Crazy, huh? Where did 2022 go? And maybe it's a good thing. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows? We keep getting back to this new normal, right? That's what we're
right.
So, well, today, Terry, we've got a great show planned for you. We've got Travis Ross with Make Your Mark Design. He's going to be joining us here momentarily to talk about print on demand. This is the season too. So if frantic is the feel, that's we get it, right? I feel that way personally. So I
know you are hard at it right up until showtime. Packing and shipping, right?
Yeah, that's right. So good stuff.
Me, on the other hand, Aaron, I have so much vacation time left that, just back from the Caribbean, just back from Thanksgiving. I took today off. I took Monday off. I'm taking the following Monday off. I'm taking Christmas week off.
You want to take a day off for me? Would you? Yeah.
Yeah. Today's the day, man.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
I'll let you know how much you enjoyed it.
Okay. All right. Good. I appreciate that. And Terry, we're also in Reggie season as well. So before we get into the news segment here, I want to remind everybody 1 week left to get your votes in. So if you'll head over to tworegularguys.com and you can click on the banner right at the top, or you can go to tworegularguys.com/Reggies. So next week, Terry, you got your tux dusted off?
I am ready to go, and I went in and did my votes this week because you and I each get one vote, and and looked like a lot of activity over there. So it's going to be exciting. Couple of neck and neck races going on as well.
Some tight races, yeah. And I've seen all the promotion out there, people rallying the troops, so to speak. So
which is perfectly fine. Hey, we love it, and we're looking forward to having a lot of folks in the show next week, and hopefully some of our winners will be able to reach out to and have them on the show as well.
Yeah, looking forward to that. All right. Well, Terry, let's, before we talk to our regulars, we've got some news that we want to get to. We've got Matt from Graphics Pro going to join us here in just one moment. So are you ready for the news, Terry?
I'm ready for the news. I love this new segment. I say it every week, but this is awesome.
It is awesome. All right, Eric, we are ready.
Hello, Aaron, Terry, regulators. Matt Dixon with Graphics Pro here. Thank you so much for having me today. Let's jump into the news. Restaurant chain Denny's recently sold 150 t-shirts at $5.99 each that essentially act as a breakfast subscription, allowing wearers to redeem a free breakfast once a day for a year. Each t-shirt has a QR code sewn directly onto the sleeve. The t-shirt can be redeemed each day for a free everyday value slam, which contains 2 eggs, 2 strips of bacon or sausage strips, and the wearer's choice of either 2 buttermilk pancakes, 1 slice of French toast, or a biscuit and gravy. Assuming the wearer cashes in on this deal every day, it's a $2,186 value, or about 3% of the financing necessary for emergency bypass surgery. The Twilight Zone version of this story would be that the t-shirts only come in small. For our next item, Brothers International Products Division recently opened up an innovation center located in its existing facility in Bartlett, Tennessee, just outside of Memphis. This new 7,000 square foot building features a showroom and training center that is designed to demonstrate the full capabilities of digital direct-to-garment printing. It also will include equipment and training for Brothers' industrial sewing machine division. Now on to sports. Formula One Racing and PacSun have unveiled their first clothing line partnership. And starting on December 12th, this collection will be offered at a few PacSun locations or online at pacsun.com. The complete Spring 2023 collection is a 6-piece fashion line featuring famous patterns with racing components and neutral tones. This comes in preparation of the 2023 Formula One schedule, which includes trips to Miami, Austin, and Las Vegas. In other news, in case you didn't think the embroidery industry was electric enough, a team of engineers at North Carolina State University has devised a technique that allows embroidering power-generating yarns into fabric. This technique offers a low-cost, scalable potential method for making wearable devices. Researchers relied on a method of generating electricity called the triboelectric effect, which involves harnessing electrons exchanged by two different materials similar to static electricity. To make them durable enough to withstand the stress of bending of the embroidery stitching process, they use commercially available copper wiring that contains a thin polyurethane coating. You won't be able to jumpstart your car or perform an emergency defibrillation with this yet, but it is washing machine safe. And finally, speaking of embroidery, in case you can't get enough embroidery action while at the office, Apple Arcade now has available an embroidery-based video game called Stitch. This mobile puzzle game is said to be relaxing, which I assume means that during the game, you won't be constantly having customers tell you that they can get the same thing cheaper down the street. That's the scoop from the Graphics Pro News Desk. Gentlemen, back to you.
Wow. I know what Eric's getting for Christmas, embroidery, the game, because I'm sure that's what he wants to do in his spare time. And hey, we would have never found that Denny's story. I love it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And just, like you said, Terry, this new segment is fantastic. And we so appreciate the support of folks like Graphics Pro and Matt. That was fantastic. I feel like Matt and Eric got together on this one. That was pretty embroidery heavy, so I like it. Very good. Awesome. All right. Well, that was great. Thank you, Matt. And make sure you guys are signed up for the newsletter over there. Get over there and check that stuff out. And we'll have a link in the show notes and we'll be posting that news segment itself out on YouTube a little bit later. So awesome. All right, Terry. Well, let's keep moving. We want to get Travis in here pretty quickly, but we can't not have a dad joke, though. And I'm going to just real quick before we get to the dad joke here. Now, Christopher Kretz is who turned me on and pointed me to Travis to bring Travis in here. And I heard that Travis can do some dad jokes, too. So we might have to ask him for one. I don't know. We're putting him on the spot right away, right? Say, hey, welcome to Two Regular Guys. Let's put you on spot. But I know you've got a Christmas-themed one, Terry. So let's start there.
I do. It's the holiday season. So, Aaron, have you ever heard of the Christmas alphabet?
I have not heard of the Christmas alphabet.
Yeah, it only has 25 letters. There's no L. No L.
Did Eric phonetically spell that for us so people visually can see it?
For him to spell it out, and
there it is.
Well,
now he's got it. Okay. All right. Well, there's our dad joke. Very good. Very time of the year, season specific. So we love that.
On point, seasonal. Exactly.
Yes,
All right,
definitely.
Aaron, before we go any further, we want to thank everybody for checking out the Two Regular Guys podcast. We are always looking for new guests. So if you or anyone you know would like to come and join us, go to calendly.com/2 regular guys and share your show ideas. If you are listening to the podcast version of the show, we would appreciate you sharing the Two Regular Guys podcast with all your industry friends so they can become regulators too. And we would appreciate you giving us a review here at the end of the year. Perfect time to do it. On Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Amazon Podcast, or wherever you do your podcast listening. We are everywhere. And if you're watching us live right now, please join in with your comments and your questions.
Yeah. Speaking of comments and questions, Terry, we've got some regulators in here. So let's real quick say hi to them. We've got Tanya checking in earlier this morning. There we go. Thank you, Eric. And we've got Josta checking in from Sweden. Uppsala, I believe, is the name there. And Nikki Ademkowitz. Yes, I think I got it right again.
Look at that.
Look at us. I see another name on here that I'm going to butcher. So I just was, the ones that I can get right. And then Terry, I don't know how you should take this comment from Kim Johnson. She may need a vacation after you take all of your vacations. So I don't know. Any
Yeah,
comments?
she doesn't
Terry?
want to hear me say, so what are you doing now? Do you need any help with that?
Get out of my hair, Terry. All right. Go write a book or something, dude. But anyways, good morning to Cindy King and James Ortolani checking in from Pittsburgh, Kansas, and Jerry Dahlheimer. Hello. And Becky Gallimore. Thank you guys for being here. All right. Well, let's hear a quick word about a program that I've got going on over at our success group called Consult With Me. And then we will get Travis on here finally, Terry. Does that sound good?
Awesome. Let's do it.
Hello, small business owners. So are you tired of wasting your money on shiny objects or listening to those gurus tell you how they made their fortune, yet it doesn't seem to work for you? It's time to take your business to the next level. My name's Aaron Montgomery, and we've got some awesome resources. Head over to coachosg.com to check it out. Just need 5 minutes of quick advice? Use the AME. Are you working on your business plan? Let me utilize my 40 years of experience and help you look for new perspectives. Having a hard time pricing your products? Are you out there on Facebook saying, what should I charge for this? Let me give you some ideas and help you find the right price. Are you tired of being a goal setter and never actually reaching your goals? Well, why don't you become a goal getter? Sign up here and we'll figure out how to set that goal correctly and then hold you accountable. I take a lot of pride in supporting people just like you. I'm incredibly excited to support you, cheer you on, and lead you to your idea of success. All right. Well, check that out. And again, go over to that website that was on there and check that out. So, all right, Terry. Well, are you ready to do this finally? We've
Yeah. I know that Travis is in the middle of a production crush. So let's get him in here and hear what he has to say.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about this. Such a cool topic. Yeah, print on demand. So, Travis Ross has always had the entrepreneurial bug, but early in his career could never find the perfect fit. After being laid off in 2015, he jumped headfirst into selling physical products on Amazon using arbitrage and wholesale and private label, as well as launching the Rocky Mountain Resellers Conference in Denver. In 2017, he began experimenting with print on demand and now owns and operates Make Your Mark Design, a full service pod fulfillment services with 5 different printing methods. He also co-hosts the Print on Demand cast each week with, and I'm going to just really do a horrible job with this. So Josiah Cifuentes, and has spoken at different events about the print on demand industry. So Travis currently lives just north of Denver, Colorado with his wife and 5 kids. So welcome into the show, Travis. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, guys, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Awesome.
Yeah,
You're a fellow podcaster, so you have all the gear.
Yeah, I got my cool mic, and yeah, we've been down this road a few times. We actually use StreamYard on our show as well. So.
Oh, awesome.
Very cool. Very cool. And how long have you guys been doing that podcast for, Travis?
Just over 2 years now.
That's
so
awesome.
We've got like 120
That's
episodes or something like that. It's a great time. It's just Josiah Cifuentes.
Okay.
Just,
All right.
Just helping you out there.
Yeah, I appreciate that help. I need all the help I can get with that for sure. Well, that's really cool. Getting over that one year mark is a big deal for podcasters. Yeah. So congrats on that.
Yeah,
man. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah, we hear that people at about 6 episodes kind of run out of things to talk about. So.
Oh, well, we ran out of things to talk about a long time ago. We just, recycle and rinse and repeat.
That's awesome.
That's
smart. Yeah, it's really smart.
Yeah, I'm kind of stop me if you've heard this.
Right.
But I never stop. I just appreciate the fact that you have heard it before. But
yeah, that's right.
Well, hey, let's jump in. And so tell us what got you into the print on demand industry.
Sure. So, like you said in the intro, kind of, I was laid off in 2015, and so I started jumping into Amazon.com, and so I was doing arbitrage, I was doing private label, I was doing wholesale, all kinds of different ways to basically make a buck on Amazon. And I had already been doing that before I got laid off. And so when I got laid off, I said, let's just jump into this. We had a little bit of extra money, and had a little bit of a runway. So I just jumped in, really just did everything I could to build that business. Did pretty well with it. In fact, we started a conference where we brought everybody into Denver, and we're teaching them basically how to buy and sell things to on Amazon and other podcasts or other sales channels. And in 2000, so that was in 2000. One of the years I heard somebody talking about sublimating coffee mugs. It was after hours. It was in the bar. That's where all the great things happen at the conferences. And someone was talking about doing this, and they were like, yeah, you can get a regular inkjet printer and you can just convert it. You can use these convert kits. So I literally did that. I went on eBay and bought a clamshell press. I bought a $25, $30, inkjet printer and converted it over to sublimation dyes, and started doing this because I had the ability to create listings already on Amazon because I'd been doing that a lot with my private label products. And I had all of these designs because I was in the Merch by Amazon program as well. And I had, hundreds, if not thousands of designs. And I'm like, well, why don't I repurpose these? These are my assets. Let's repurpose them. So I just started listing like crazy, and they started selling. It was really kind of cool. And so that just kind of grew and grew and grew. The arbitrage and going to the stores and buying things to sell on Amazon, those kind of, faded into the background as I really spent more and more time. We eventually moved to a facility, bought a DTG machine. I bought an Epson F2100. That was our first machine. And then now we're here at a different facility, a little bit larger facility. We've got UV. We've got embroidery, we've got obviously DTG and sublimation and laser engraving. And all of these in one way or another can be used with print on demand, believe it or not. We also obviously do kind of local things in the area. There's kind of that when you plant your Google flag, in the ground, people find you. And so we do some local things, but our primary business is fulfillment for our products that we sell on all these channels. And then we also fulfill for other people who sell on these channels, like, Walmart, Etsy, Amazon, and the list goes on. Shopify, the list goes on.
Yeah. So Travis, you talk about these channels, right? So you obviously started in Amazon. You're expanding out. I mean, did that kind of happen organically, or like how does that look? Where you talked a little bit about what you're selling, but you're also fulfilling for others. So maybe tell us a little bit more about the channels and just kind of how that's evolved for you.
Sure. Well, I'm not sure exactly what you want to know, but like Amazon, to get a professional plan, it's $40 a month. So it's really not a whole lot. If you don't have a professional plan, they charge you $1 for everything you sell. So once you sell 40 things a month, it makes sense to get the professional plan. Yeah. The other thing is that even people that don't have print shops are doing this because there's people like me that will fulfill for them on their behalf. So an order comes in, we use Order Desk. If you're familiar with that, it comes into Order Desk for one of our clients, which they basically have time to make sure that the art's right. And then they put it into another folder that's called Ready to Print. Every 24 hours, the Ready to Print folder gets pushed to our ship station. And then we have a shipping label that we can see all of the details. We know what department it's for. We know what color it is. We know what product it is. We know what design goes with that, because that's all comprised in Order Desk. We basically do the product. We print the shipping label. Ship station passes it back to Order Desk, which passes it back to Amazon or Walmart or wherever. And then the product gets to the customer, and hopefully they're really happy.
Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, I love that. So I've been involved in a similar company that was Order Desk and all that other stuff. Mm-hmm. No longer working with them, but it's so interesting to kind of see that evolve, right? Because now you're doing a lot of your own products as well, right? Though,
right.
But what kind of a mix are you seeing in that? Or are you leaning one way or the other?
Well, I mean, if you're talking about product mix, definitely coffee mugs is our biggest.
Okay.
And that's just because that's how we got started. And we basically got a really good system, lots of SOPs. We got at one point I had, I think 4 designers and 5 other like virtual assistants. They were all based in the Philippines. They're really amazing people, but we had this whole kind of almost assembly line to get these products, the idea for the design and then the actual design done. And then we upload to Amazon using spreadsheets because it's just more efficient. And then basically building out those spreadsheets with the different titles and the different keywords and all of that stuff. So we had this kind of whole assembly line thing, just trying to list as many products as we can, as many coffee mugs, specifically as we could. We also do a few other things. We do, some totes. We do some framed signs that they're really cool. We actually have a guy who does signs or who does the frames for us and stains them. And then we just cut melamine and then put it in our UV machine, prints it. It's a gorgeous, almost, it's like picture perfect.
Wow.
And then we, nail it together and ship it out. So we do some of that stuff, some t-shirts, of course. And, but yeah, there's really the most challenging thing is to come up with a system to efficiently list all of these products.
Yeah.
It's not the actual making of the products that's the hard part.
Right.
Yeah. And Terry, I this is why I love talking to people like Travis, because like there's so much gold in just what he just said there, right? We're talking about what, like that last statement, I think is pure gold, but even talking about, I've got to have SOPs. We started with mugs. That's what we're good at, right? Stick with that. I think people coming into this industry, they want to, oh, that looks cool. I want to try that. I want to play with this. I get the sample pack. I'm going to do everything. And it's like, yeah, and you never get good at anything, and then you continue to struggle, right?
I have many sample packs that are still samples. They're not products yet.
Yes,
Right.
Indeed. It's all great ideas.
I wish I could help you in your business, but apparently I own too many coffee mugs, I've been told. So I have to clear some out to be able to buy new ones. So.
Well, hey, we've got the Reggies coming up, Terry. Maybe we can outsource this year, and I don't have to make it.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. I love it.
Yeah, you let me know.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, real quick, one other quick question, Terry. Sorry to interrupt because I love this stuff. So, when you talk about print on demand, Travis, again, kind of another wide open question. So wherever you want to run with it, go. But what does that kind of mean to you? Like what is print on demand? It gets thrown out there, pod a lot, right? All that kind of stuff. But I don't necessarily think people understand what it means.
Yeah, and this is. We all use the phrase print on demand. And I think what we generally mean by that is something that can be a one-off, that the order comes in and you can print it because the demand is there. And what that also means is that the product didn't exist until the order came in. So all of those products you see out there that, on Amazon or Etsy or wherever, a lot of those are just mock-ups. They're not actually, somebody didn't actually make the product and then take a picture of it to put it online. A lot of those are just mock-ups. They don't exist until so like I have, 50,000 plus, listings on Amazon. I probably have only made half of those, if that. I don't know what the actual ratio is, but so 25,000 plus don't even exist. They never have, and they may never actually exist. They're just available. And so that's the print on demand side. But I think the phrase that I like to actually use is more fulfillment by demand, because it really is the fulfillment piece that makes it unique. Because anybody can print, a coffee mug, but can you do that for somebody that's 4 states away and get it to their customer? And you're really just fulfilling it. That's really what your customer or my customers, my clients want me to do, is fulfill whatever orders that come in and figure out the way. If they don't have their art right, make sure that I get with them, or I have one person that every once in a while will get a piece of art that has a white background for a t-shirt. And it's like, no, that's not going to work. You need to get us, and so we catch those things. And so really we're a fulfillment partner with people that that are selling on these different channels.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense, but
No, it totally
I
does.
like that. I like that phrase, fulfillment on demand. Because I mean, any print shop is technically print on demand. It just might be 2 to 4 weeks before, before they get their 1,000 shirts, from the screen printer. It's still printing on demand because the demand comes when the order comes in. This is more the print on demand, or the fulfillment on demand is more being able to, it's locational print or fulfillment in a specific spot to get that 2 to 5 day window that the Amazon buyer expects, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's so important that people understand about that, right? Is because, like you said, the actual making part's probably the easiest part of the process. Yeah. It's the logistics, the fulfillment side that you talked about. So I love that. All right, Terry, I got all excited. I just took over. I apologize.
I know you get excited about this, so I don't want to get in your way. All right. Well, so Travis, what other ways are you involved in the print on demand industry besides, actually doing the selling?
Well, I mean, obviously we've got that podcast that we put out, just trying to help people kind of demystify the whole thing. It's printondemandcast.com. You can check that out. We're actually,
are those listeners, are those all people who say, hey, I want to do this too? Is that pretty much the listener you have there?
Yeah. So we've done the cardinal sin in podcasting. We haven't really nailed down our audience. So our audience is really everybody that does anything from, so people that have their own shops, they're doing kind of what we're doing. They're fulfilling other people's orders, to the person who's just on Merch by Amazon, or what I call the royalty-based print on demand sites, the Redbubbles and those types of things where they just license your art and you get a royalty. So we have that whole gamut of people that are listening to our show. So sometimes we'll be talking about more royalty-based, more print on demand, royalty-based print on demand. And then other times we'll be talking about what I call the seller of record print on demand, like the Etsy, Amazon, where you are actually the seller of record. It's not Etsy selling it to them. It's you selling it to them on the Etsy platform. Whereas Merch by Amazon, it's Amazon selling it to them and paying you a royalty for your art that they put on their product that they sent. So that's the print on demand cast. That's kind of our audience there. There's, a couple of other things that, we do, with Graphics Pro. I'm going to be speaking to ISS later in January in Long Beach, and then in Atlantic City. So I'm trying to get out there and just be in the community, because that's the thing. That's really the reason we started the podcast, was just so we could be out there and learn. I mean, we always talk about, Josiah and I talk about when we interview somebody, we get to be the first listeners. And we get to learn all of the things. And you guys know this, it's so unique you get so many ideas. You get so inspired. That's the fun part of print on demand to me, is like getting out there and learning all of the different things that people are doing and the way they are moving this industry forward. It's really exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's super cool. I love that. You mentioned, I mentioned, I guess, when we were talking about your bio there, the conference. Is that kind of come and gone?
Yeah, we did that for 3 years. It was more of an Amazon conference. And since I'm not really, I still sell on Amazon, but I'm not doing it the way I used to do it. And and I just don't have time for it anymore. All
right. Well, Travis, you and I'll have to get together when things slow down a little bit and chat. Maybe we need to bring out a print on demand conference. Let's do it. I love it. Like you said, we get this opportunity to chat, get excited, get ideas. Get it going. So
yeah, for sure.
So I guess let's turn the corner here just a little bit, Travis. So we talk to a lot of decorators, people that are making the product, screen printers, embroiderers, sublimators, all that kind of stuff. In fact, Becky Gallimore in here asked, in fact, let's just get to that one first. How do you print one shirt?
Sure. So we have a couple of DTG machines. So they're direct to garment. Yeah. And so it uses a water-based ink. You first pre-treat the shirt so the inks will adhere to it, which is basically the pre-treat's really like salt water and glue, if you want to boil it down to it. And you make sure the shirt's dry, then you put it into the DTG machine, and it's a digital print. And that's the beauty of, all of our products here, or all of our machines or all of our processes are all digitally based. And so that's the reason, or that's the way that we can do just one shirt. It's literally, think about a DTG machine like a big inkjet printer. Except it uses DTG inks and it's massive.
Sure.
And so, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna you also mentioned you had some embroidery. How are you able to fit that into the kind of on-demand space?
That's a little more tricky because obviously you have to have the digitized file. And we have Melco MT16. So each one of those heads can be doing something different, which that kind of helps. But yes, before anyone, we have kind of a pre-screening process with our clients. And if they're going to be doing embroidery, we make sure that all of the files that they have to offer are digitized and in kind of that order desk inventory system that I talked about before. So when the order comes through, we see what color hat it is or what the product is, and the digitized file is right there ready to go. And so we just sew it out, put it in a box, and ship it out.
That's awesome. And then you mentioned that you started with the F2100. Are you still an Epson guy? Terry's a big Epson guy, by the way. Just so
we've got two of the F30. What are they? 3060s?
3070s.
3070s. Yeah.
Oh, very
so
nice.
We've got two of those. Those are amazing machines. They'll print a full front. You guys will appreciate this. So do you recognize my shirt? Do you recognize that? That is an F21 print pattern. And then underneath it says it's going to be a good day. Because when you get that.
Now I got it. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Isn't that great?
I think Eric actually saw it earlier and posted some in the private comments. I love that.
Yeah.
I didn't see it until now. That's cool.
That is extraordinary. I love that. I might have to borrow your concept.
Hey, I know a guy that can print that for you, Terry. So his name's Travis. He's right below you on screen. I love it. Let's hit a couple other quick comments from the regulators here, Terry. Jerry Dahlheimer says, love print on demand. I've done other on-demand sales concepts on eBay over the years. So, and then Eric in the comments there says, fleet of singles, definitely the way to go for POD embroidery. Also, if you sell a name, title, slogan, personalization, you can serve text a little easier online embroiderers. So
sure.
Eric's our resident embroidery guy, Travis. So we have to.
Yeah, I've seen Eric online. So yeah,
you know, he's the man.
I know. He's the man.
I love it. All right, Terry. Well, again, I get all excited and I just can't control myself. So,
so how can our listeners leverage the equipment they have and their skills and use this print on demand model? How can people listening right now get involved?
Sure. I mean, if you have a shop, you've probably been to a trade show. You've probably seen all the DTG and all these different things, but it really depends on what equipment you already have, or if you're interested in acquiring more equipment. If you're a screen printer, you can still be in the print on demand game. You just have to make sure that your clients have enough volume that you can print in a run that makes sense and then store those shirts, as opposed to, it's not as much on demand as it is kind of pre-printing them. But one of the things that you can do, and one of the things that we do, is we reach out to influencers on Instagram, on TikTok, on all these different platforms. We just DM them. And, it's not me doing it as much as it is some of my other people that are a little younger, and have a little more savvy with that stuff. But we have, all of these different people that we create stores for. And the cool thing, if you're a shop owner, you probably already have like a Deco or a Printavo or an Inksoft or something like that, some type of shop management software. And most of those, if not all of those, have a store feature. And so you can literally reach out to these influencers, people who have people that are watching their content for whatever reason, and say, hey, have you ever thought about selling t-shirts or selling merch on your store? And then you can actually create a store for them, get their logos. If you have a designer, you can get their logos done, all of that stuff. And you can start that way. That's one way that you can do that. And it depends on what equipment you have to what actual products you're going to produce for them. The other way is, if you've been in business for a long time, there's a good chance that you have a lot of design assets that you've never used, that's never been printed on. That customer wanted this type of thing and you gave them 4 options. They picked one and you still have 3 that never left anywhere. You could actually sign up for an Amazon account. You could start doing that. I think Etsy's probably the lowest barrier to entry if you're talking about some of those sales channels, some of those fulfillment channels. But you could start doing that and just get on there. You'll need to create a mock-up, which those are very easy. There's a place called placeit.net that you can go. It's an Envato product. If you know the company Envato, placeit.net is incredible with all kinds of lifestyle mock-ups. And, you basically just, if you have a PNG with a transparent background, you just drag it onto the thing and spits out a really cool image that has like texture and all of that. And just create your mock-ups and just kind of throw stuff at the wall, see what sells. So there's a lot of different ways to get into this game, and it may require a piece of equipment that you don't have, but you might be able to use that laser engraver that you already have and start doing leatherette patch hats and start putting those up there, or if you have a UV machine, or if you have all of these things, you can actually, you can find a print-on-demand solution for pretty much everything. The only one that won't do, you basically just need a digital file or something that will take a digital file, and then you can do a one-off. Yeah. So maybe it's not the best for if you're just doing screen printing, but if you're doing some of these other things, I think that there's an opportunity for you there.
Yeah.
And pre DTG, there were, I teach screen printing classes, and there were multiple people who came to my classes who were doing similar work, but they just came to class to learn how to print transfers. And then they had blank inventory and stacks of transfers, and kind of like you, hey, if they don't sell, I got a stack of paper. But if they do, I just, I've got my heat press and I'm just making one-offs of in whatever color and size you want. So, so screen printers, there's still hope for you out there.
Yeah,
for sure.
And it's so cool. And it's just a totally different way of thinking, I think, in a lot of ways, Travis, because, everybody thinks they got to get volume. And you're doing volume. You're just doing a lot of one volume together. So you have to build that system that allows you to, yes, instead of doing a run of 100 shirts, you're going to do a run of 100 different shirts.
Yeah. I remember when Josiah and I first got started, we went to what was then the NBM. It's now Graphics Pro Expo. And it was in Portland, and it was our first trade show in the printing industry. And we went up there, and we were just blown away. It was like, drinking from a fire hose. I highly recommend, if you've never been to a trade show, go to one. Just find one and go, because it'll blow your mind. But as we were walking around, we were asking all these people, so what do you guys do with your e-commerce? What with the e-commerce side of your business? And I'm not kidding. Every single one of them said, why would we do e-commerce? We have so much business. We have so much local business. We don't need to do e-commerce. Yeah. And we were like, whoa, there's a hole in the industry right now. Yeah. And we had the experience with the e-commerce. And so that's really what got us into the fulfillment business, was because we saw that at that time, there weren't a whole lot of people that were doing that. Now you can find, you throw a rock and you can hit a print-on-demand fulfillment center, it seems.
Yeah. Well, a little thing called COVID came about, and you were already ahead of the game, and all those guys were scrambling, saying, "Hey, what was that e-commerce guy was talking about in Portland?"
Right.
Yeah, totally. But I think the other cool part about the print on demand and kind of that e-commerce thing, and especially if you're doing the printing, like you said, you're out there finding influencers and stuff like that, you don't need thousands and thousands of those people. Somebody can hit and they can feed you pretty good, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, the danger really is for them to sell too many things, and all of a sudden we've got to run a second shift.
Yeah.
but yes, you're absolutely right. One client can really just crush it if if everything comes together.
Sure. And having somebody like you on that side, right? Because you bring that e-commerce experience, you can, you're educating people on how they can bring more business your way. And I would imagine. So, all right. Well, I guess we've talked about all the rainbows and ponies and how great everything is, right?
Unicorns.
Yeah, the unicorns and all is great in the world. But are there some pitfalls? Are there some things that people need to kind of be aware of if they're looking to get into print on demand?
No, there's nothing wrong with it. It's perfect.
Perfect.
It's
everywhere. No. Perfect. All right, good.
No, I mean, of course there's pitfalls, just like there's pitfalls to any business. I mean, SOPs, standard operating procedures, are your friend. You really need to understand the flow from the sales channel to your production. It's a little bit different than selling widgets online, you kind of your e-commerce widget, because you get an order for widget A and you go to the bin where widget A is and you grab it and you box it and you ship it. Yeah. Obviously we've introduced a little bit of a twist in there, because you might still be going to widget A's box, which happens to be a red, large Gildan 64,000. But now you've got to take it to the printer and you've got to make sure that the right art goes on that shirt. And, I, like probably many of your listeners, have a whole bunch of misprints because those two things didn't happen. And the more you can dial that in and make sure that doesn't happen, the better you'll be in the long run. I mean, the other pitfall, if you're doing fulfillment for others, and I don't know that it's necessarily a pitfall, but it's something that you have to consider. You are constantly selling wholesale pricing to all of these people because they're actually selling it on the line. They're the seller of record, and you have to give it to them wholesale. If you can build out your own catalog of your own products, you can sell retail, which is, that's part of our business. And that retail sale, obviously, I don't have to pay anybody for. So there's a lot more margin there for me when I sell a product that I own. Yeah. So you just have to take, you really need to know your numbers and make sure that, and it's not just how much is the shirt, how much is the ink, it's how much time did it take? How much are you paying the person to do that? And that took that time. And it's not just how long did it take them to print it, it's how long did it take them to print it and package it and all of those things. You have to take all of those things into consideration. But I think that's more just kind of sound business strategies,
Yeah, sure.
Make sure your SOPs are in line and your numbers.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you'd be pretty shocked though. I did a seminar out, can't remember where it was, doesn't matter. And there was about 150 people that I asked how many people here know how much it costs you just to.
Aaron, I think we may have lost sound with you.
Yeah, I was wondering. Uh-oh. Is Aaron gone?
Aaron, we can see you moving your lips, but we don't hear any sound.
And it was such a cliffhanger, too. There were 150 people in a room. And then...
And I said, it's gone. Well, maybe Aaron will jump back in here and be able to finish that story for us. But so why don't we pull out your crystal ball? And we always like to get people to give us their predictions. So what do you think the future holds for print on demand, or is print on demand the future?
Yeah. So it's funny that you asked me this, because we on the Print on Demand cast, we actually have what we call the magic questions. And at the end of the interview, we ask them a few different questions. And this one is almost always asked. So I have a lot of answers actually from a lot of different people. One of the, first of all, I think print on demand is the future. I mean, and it doesn't necessarily just mean DTG is the future or, sublimation it doesn't mean any of that. It just means that print on demand, being able to print on demand is the future. And I think we're going to see that. I think 3D printing is going to be print on demandable. At some point. I think we're going to get better technology. It's going to be faster. It's going to be, more you'll be able to do it at scale. And I think so, eventually you need a part for your dishwasher, and instead of calling the manufacturer, you go to a print on demand person and they have that part ready to go. And you just order it from them because it's faster and, maybe, or whatever. And so I think that, in other words, there are so many ways that print on demand can go, particularly when 3D printing becomes more mainstream, that it's really going to blow your mind. And I think we're still kind of in the infancy. DTF is a relatively new print method, direct to film, which you can do with your DTG machine. You don't have to have a new machine. If you already have a DTG machine, you can do DTF. Yeah. That's a very print on demandable, print style. But yeah, to directly answer your question, I think it is the future. I don't think it's going to displace like screen printing or any of those other things. But I think it's going to be more and more of in the general population stream of consciousness, because people want things. They want them personalized. You can't do that if you're doing screen printing. If you have all of the people that are going to the conference and you want their name on everything, well, that's going to be really difficult unless you come up with some type of strange solution for it. If you're just doing, if you don't have the ability to do print on demand. And I think that's just across the board.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Am I back, by the way?
You're back, and you left us with a cliffhanger. I'm in a room with 150 people, and
see, okay, we'll just leave it at that. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, room 150 people. I asked how many of you know how much it costs to be in business each day, and 0 of them knew that information. And these were, new business owners, new people coming into the industry. So yeah, I think you'll be pretty surprised. I mean, that's kind of why Todd and I started our success group back in January 2020 to work on that problem. So I appreciate that you understand that. Like you said, at that's kind of the foundational level. And if people miss that part, I think it's going to be a hard way to get your business going.
Right.
And when you mentioned the 3D printing, I immediately start thinking about those gutter companies, where they've got the metal in the truck, and I need an 18-foot piece of guttering, and they actually they're making it in the back of the truck. I'm picturing that dishwasher guy going, "Hey Jim, run out there and get me one of print me one of these gaskets like this."
Exactly.
Runs out to the truck, prints it out, puts it in. Okay, you're good to go.
Yeah. We had I mean, that goes to every element of our society. We had a garage door, our roll up in the back was damaged. And the guy's like, yeah, well, I don't have the part. I got to go, if he had a 3D printer, maybe 10, 20 years down the road, he goes to his, like you say, to his truck and just prints the part and comes back in and I'm good to go same day, so you can't sleep on this stuff.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
Jetsons.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I love that. Wow. Okay. Well, Travis, we're kind of getting it, and I know you got to get it back into your day too. Tell.
Oh, you just went out again.
Yeah, we've lost you, Aaron. But what Aaron was about to say, and I don't know if he can hear me because he's still talking, but usually when we drop out, we start speaking Spanish for each other. But que lástima, lo siento. But what he was going to ask you is, how can people find you?
Sure. So obviously we've got the Print on Demand cast, and you can go to printondemandcast.com. We're kind of in the middle of revamping that website, but it's still there. We've got a Facebook group, printondemandcast.com/Facebook. If you just want like a list of all of our episodes and then all of the different channels you go to, you can go to the Anchor site. It's anchor.fm/printondemandcast. That's how we, get the podcast out of there, but it's got, all 120 episodes or so on there. If you're interested in just checking out our facility here, our fulfillment facility, it's makeyourmark.design. And you can, take a look at our website there. If you can contact me at travis@makeyourmark.design. If you have any questions, or if you're interested in maybe having us fulfill for you, or you're just interested in like, what does it look like to be a fulfillment place, and you just have some questions. I love talking about this stuff. That's why we have the podcast. So feel free to reach out to me.
Well, you're like us. It's all about education, and it's all about sharing, and there are no secrets. So let's all work together and share. So
For
we
sure.
have a similar mindset, but we really, really appreciate you being on. Tons of great information, Travis. So thanks so much, and we'll hope to have you back in 2023.
Awesome. Thanks, guys, for having me. Appreciate it. We'll see you later.
Awesome. Thanks. All right.
Well,
fantastic information.
Yeah, incredible. I hope my technical difficulties didn't get in the way of that, but really great to have Travis on. As you guys can tell, I get super excited about that stuff. So I love this is like Travis with his podcast, right? We get to meet people like Travis when we do this podcast. So.
Well, exactly right. And he said, doing that for 2 years, we've been meeting and learning from all of you for 10 years. And it's I think it's made both of us better at what we do, Aaron, and in our businesses and in our personal lives. So
yeah.
It's
and seeing
great.
people like Travis getting out there, right? And let's cover this area. And we've been asked this before, Terry, like, when somebody else has got a podcast, is that like competition? No, more the better.
Exactly right.
Let's
Exactly
educate
right.
people.
and just like Travis was saying, I've found success doing this. Now I want to tell other people how they can be successful. If you're good at what you do, there's no competition that's going to hurt you. It's like you, Aaron. It's the rising seas, right?
Yeah, the rising tide lifts all boats. That's right. Awesome.
All right.
Well, Terry, what a great episode. Some of the regulators commented that as well. So Tanya says, great topic. Thank you. Ramona, when we were talking about the knowing your numbers, she says, I'm walking back and forth between my machine. I know my per day number to cover my daily expenses. You put me on that path. Yeah. So that's
nice.
That's what we built at our success group, trying to help people with that resource. So great to hear somebody is using that. So I love it. Thanks, Ramona.
Well, we do again, Aaron, as you mentioned, next week. Everybody's got one more week to go out and vote at 2 Regular Guys, the number 2regularguys.com, and we have a lot of great nominees. And a couple of weeks ago, we listed everybody that got nominated, which was a lot of people, and so pretty excited about the 10th annual Reggie Awards. It's crazy, huh? 10 years.
Crazy. Super crazy. Yeah. And like you said, it's been hopping over there. The service that I use to track the the votes, right? There's a certain number of votes that it will handle before you have to upgrade the plan. So I got the notice that I had to upgrade the plan. I'm like, dang, I went and looked. I'm like, oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I was a little surprised when I went and I was doing my votes. I'm like, holy cow, there's a lot of activity over here.
Yeah. So good. And like you said, there's some tight races. So get in there, 2regularguys.com/Reggies and check that out. As Terry mentioned, Terry and I and Eric and everybody just has one vote. So, we're excited to see who the winners are, just as you guys are. And, We'll frantically the night before the show start reaching out to people saying, "Hey, come join us tomorrow morning," and then make Eric's life living hell on Friday morning. So
all these people sitting in the green room.
Yeah, that's right. Man, awesome. Well, Terry, I think we've done a great job today. I think we can call it a day, don't you? Or let's talk about what you've got coming up, and then we can close it out.
I've been avoiding getting into my 2023 list of items yet, but I have one more thing to wrap up 2022. I'm going to be at Workhorse Products in Phoenix, December 10th and 11th, so next weekend. And I'm going to be teaching my complete screen printing business course. The 2023 classes for both Chicago and Phoenix are all lined out. And if you want to find those, you can go to my website, terrycombs.com. And I will be in Long Beach. I'm not speaking in Long Beach. I know that Eric will be, but we're going to be doing some new and exciting things at the Equipment Zone booth. And we're going to be doing some decorating for the folks over at Sandmar. And I'll have some more information about that coming up. And we do have an event, a virtual DTG DTF class we're going to be doing. It's going to be a couple of hours for Equipment Zone. Jay Bassell and myself are going to host that, and we'll get you some more information about that as well. going to be in the middle of the month as well.
There we go. Sorry about that, Terry. You cut out for a second, and it looked like Aaron also cut out at the same time. So I'm coming in with the producer credit to try and help out with what's going on. Because that's what's going on, I'm going to go ahead and introduce my stuff that I have going on rather than have you guys read it.
Perfect.
At least, so we have something to end the show on. So I do have some stuff going on. As you guys know, today is the Take Up. So today we have episode 136, and that is stock machine embroidery designs and fonts, review, revise, and repurpose. No matter which mode you use them in, and by the way, print on demand is one of the ways you use stock designs in embroidery, one of the ways you can. You'll often find yourself needing to check them out for quality, edit them for your particular application, and take them apart just to put them back together in a way that works for you. In this episode today, I'm going to be revisiting the topic of how to handle stock designs. You can find that at ericcampbell.com on the Take Up tab at the top of the site. Also, as you said, I am absolutely teaching at Impressions Expo. It's not quite the Eric Campbell wing that you like to give me from the last time. I was teaching 6 units that time, but I am still teaching 4 units coming up in January, which I feel in my soul right now that I'm teaching 4 classes very soon and don't have all my stuff submitted yet. But I will be there teaching and getting stuff going for Impressions Expo. So check that out at impressionsexpo.com. Otherwise, you can find me at ericcampbell.com. Now, I think Aaron is still out of commission, so I am going to go ahead and read Aaron's stuff. Unless you're back.
I think I'm back.
So you got audio. All right. Let's have you back on to read your stuff.
I'll just real quick. Really, just one thing.
Go for it.
2 things. The virtual applique getaway is happening, so you can still check that out. osg.link/virtual AG. So that's in fact. I can't remember, the 6th, I believe. I'm going to be doing a live in that with Sheila Ryan and Christine Shreve. So I'm looking forward to joining them. But the webinars are all recorded too. So they do some live, and they've got a bunch of recorded webinars. So you can check that out. I think it goes until February. But then also next week, December 7th at 3 p.m. Central Time, I'm going to be over there with Sprite and Bo from Condi Systems. And we're going to be talking about stressed out for the holidays, right? Ways to kind of manage the chaos and go from frantic to strategic, and using some of my success principles tools and different things like that. So we're going to be just kind of breaking that down together next week, and I'm looking forward to joining them. And Eric, it's really late here, but if you go to ditrans.com/info/upcoming-webinars, and I will put that actually in the
If you wouldn't mind whipping that out there for you.
I will
while you're on
remember all
screen,
that.
go for it, right? Yeah, no,
Right,
I
I'll try
will put
and
it.
get
I will put that in the comments myself. So there we
Thanks,
go. All right. Well, before I have any more technical issues, guys, thank you guys so much. Thanks very much to Travis, and make sure you check out his podcast. Go see if you can work with him. Go buy that shirt from him, that DTG print shirt. That's awesome. I need to know where the Amazon link is,
awesome.
Travis.
I love it.
Noticed that and couldn't help commenting. I'm in the chat blowing him up because I was like, "Oh man, that's that nozzle check pattern." I died. It's so
really
good.
cool.
Plastic shirt, dude.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, as we talked about, next week is the Reggies, so we'll be donned in our formal gear and t-shirts. Probably we're in the t-shirt industry, but so looking forward to that next week, and so definitely excited.
Everybody get out there and vote. We want to thank our show producer, Eric Campbell, and thanks, Eric, for jumping in and helping out. So exactly. Till then, I'm Terry Combs. He's Eric Campbell. He's Aaron Montgomery.
And we are the 2 regular guys.
Here we go. We're out.
Awesome.
Thank you for listening to 2 Regular Guys. Check out our website at 2regularguys.com. That's the number 2, regularguys.com. You can also interact with us over at our Facebook page, facebook.com/2regularguys, or send us a tweet, twitter.com/2regularguys. And we have a YouTube page. You can find all that from our website, 2regularguys.com. Thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to spending some time with you again next week.